Have you ever felt like your emotions are completely out of control? Like you're on a roller coaster you didn't sign up for, and no matter how hard you try, you can't seem to get off. 1 minute, you're okay. The next, you're drowning in feelings of sadness, anger, or frustration. This is emotional dysregulation, and for many people, it can make day-to-day life feel overwhelming, exhausting, and even isolating. Emotional dysregulation isn't just about feeling a lot, it's about feeling too much, too fast, and not knowing how to manage it. Whether it's crying spells that come out of nowhere, intense reactions to small triggers, or the inability to calm down after something stressful, emotional dysregulation can make you feel like your emotions are controlling you, rather than the other way around. Let's dive deeper into what emotional dysregulation is, how it shows up, and, most importantly, what you can do to manage it. What is emotional dysregulation? Emotional dysregulation is the inability to manage emotional responses in a way that feels balanced or appropriate for the situation. While everyone experiences mood shifts, for someone with emotional dysregulation, these shifts are more extreme, last longer, and are harder to control. It can feel like going from 0 to 100 emotionally without warning. 1. The sudden shift. Imagine you're having a good day. You're at work, feeling productive, when someone makes an offhand comment about a mistake you made a week ago. Suddenly, without warning, you feel a rush of anger and shame. Your body tenses up, your heart races, and all you can focus on is that one comment. It feels like the entire day is ruined, even though, logically, you know it's just a small comment. But the emotional wave is so strong that it completely takes over. That's emotional dysregulation in action. It's the inability to process and respond to emotions in a controlled or measured way, leading to sudden shifts and overwhelming emotional experiences. Key signs of emotional dysregulation. Let's explore some of the common symptoms of emotional dysregulation, along with real-life scenarios to help illustrate how these feelings can take over. 1. Sudden mood shifts. Emotional dysregulation often causes sudden, dramatic shifts in mood. You might feel perfectly fine 1 minute and intensely angry, sad, or frustrated the next, often without a clear trigger. 2. From calm to chaos. You're having a quiet evening at home, feeling relaxed and content. But then your partner forgets to pick up something from the grocery store. It's a small thing, but suddenly you're overwhelmed with frustration and anger. You can't shake the feeling that they don't care or don't listen to you, even though you know deep down it's not that big of a deal. Your evening, which was once peaceful, is now filled with tension. This kind of emotional shift can feel out of proportion to the situation, but when you're emotionally dysregulated, your nervous system reacts as though even minor inconveniences are major threats. 2. Crying spells that are hard to control. Another hallmark of emotional dysregulation is crying spells that seem to come out of nowhere and are difficult to stop. These can happen in response to minor triggers, or even when you don't fully understand why you're upset. 3. The unstoppable tears. You're sitting in your car after a long day at work, and suddenly you start crying. You're not even sure why. It just feels like everything is hitting you at once. Even after the tears start, you can't seem to stop. You try to calm yourself, but it's like a floodgate has opened, and no amount of logic or self-talk can slow the flow. Crying spells like this are common in emotional dysregulation. Often, the emotion isn't tied to one specific event, but rather an accumulation of stress, frustration, or unresolved feelings that all come to the surface at once. 3-point emotional numbness. While emotional dysregulation often involves intense emotions, it can also cause periods of emotional numbness, where you feel disconnected from your emotions and the world around you. One moment, you're overwhelmed by feelings, and the next, you're detached and numb. The emotional shutdown. You've just finished an intense argument with a close friend. You were angry and upset, but now that the fight is over, you feel nothing. You sit in silence, disconnected from what just happened. It's not that you're calm, it's more like you're emotionally frozen. You know you should feel something, but the emotions are just out of reach. This alternating between emotional extremes and numbness is a common experience for those with emotional dysregulation. It can feel like a switch flipping between feeling everything too intensely and feeling nothing at all. The emotional shutdown. You've just finished an intense argument with a close friend. You were angry and upset, but now that the fight is over, you feel nothing. You sit in silence, disconnected from what just happened. It's not that you're calm, it's more like you're emotionally frozen. You know you should feel something, but the emotions are just out of reach. This alternating between emotional extremes and numbness is a common experience for those with emotional dysregulation. It can feel like a switch, flipping between feeling everything too intensely and feeling nothing at all. 4. Intense reactions to small triggers. One of the most difficult aspects of emotional dysregulation is how small, seemingly insignificant triggers can cause overwhelming emotional reactions. These reactions can be difficult for others to understand, which can make you feel even more isolated. 5. The overwhelming trigger. You're at a family dinner, and someone makes a harmless joke about something you did as a child. To everyone else, it's funny, but to you, it feels humiliating. Your face flushes, and before you know it, tears are welling up. Everyone is confused about why you're so upset, but you can't explain why it hit you so hard. The rest of the evening is spent trying to hold back the emotion that's threatening to spill over. For people with emotional dysregulation, small triggers can feel enormous. What seems minor to others might be linked to deeper emotional wounds or unresolved issues, making the reaction much more intense. 5-point difficulty: calming down after stress. When something stressful happens, people with emotional dysregulation often struggle to calm down. While others may be able to move past a stressful situation in a few minutes or hours, someone with emotional dysregulation might stay upset for hours or even days. 6. The lingering stress. You have a tense meeting at work, and afterward, your coworkers seem to move on with their day. But for you, the stress doesn't fade. Hours later, you're still replaying the meeting in your mind, feeling just as upset as you did in the moment. Even by the end of the day, you can't shake the feeling. It lingers, casting a shadow over everything you do. This prolonged emotional response can make daily life feel exhausting. It's not just that you experience stress, it's that you can't move past it, and it weighs on you long after the situation has ended. Strategies for managing emotional dysregulation. While emotional dysregulation can feel overwhelming, there are strategies you can use to manage your emotions and regain control. 1. Grounding techniques. Grounding exercises, such as deep breathing, focusing on the physical sensations in your body or naming objects around you can help you stay connected to the present moment and prevent your emotions from spiraling. 2. Mindfulness meditation. Practicing mindfulness can help you become more aware of your emotional state without being overwhelmed by it. Mindfulness teaches you to observe your emotions without judgment, which can make it easier to manage intense feelings when they arise. 3. Therapy. Working with a therapist, especially one who specializes in trauma or emotional dysregulation, can provide invaluable tools for managing your emotions. Dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, is particularly effective for teaching emotion regulation skills. 4. Self-compassion. When emotions run high, it's easy to be hard on yourself. Practicing self-compassion, acknowledging that it's okay to feel the way you do and that your emotions are valid, can help reduce feelings of shame and isolation. 5. Physical activity. Sometimes, when emotions are too overwhelming to process mentally, physical activity can help release built-up energy and tension. Exercise, even something as simple as a walk, can help shift your emotional state. You're not alone. If you're struggling with emotional dysregulation, know that you're not alone. Many people experience these intense emotional shifts, and while it can feel overwhelming, there are tools and strategies that can help. Emotional dysregulation doesn't have to control your life. You have the power to manage your emotions, and with practice, it's possible to find balance again. You've got this, and with the right support, you can move forward with confidence, even on those days when your emotions feel like too much to handle. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to put "I subscribed" in the comments below for more content on healing and empowerment. Sending you all my love. Until next time, stay strong and keep thriving. Take my free quizzes to see where you are in your stage of healing. Just click the link below this video